Indestructible. Well, that's what we thought it was, anyway. It's almost 1 year later from the release of the original Street Fighter IV. The monstrous hit that Capcom had brought to the table to rekindle the next-gen fighting games and bring them back into the player's circle. Once again, fighting fans, it's old school Fool from DOS Reviews, and we're putting Super Street Fighter IV on the chopping block with this DOS review. Now, as I said, this is a 1 year from the release of the original, and with that being said, many at first would mention this game was, like, well, what is this going to be about? They were taken back, they felt somewhat cheated because they were expecting more overpriced, either DLC content or a mild upgrade with a few new stages and maybe some characters. This title is out the door for about $40, and is far from just an expansion. This is truly a reworked game. The Street Fighter IV lineup returns with the original cast, with the original supers with a few new surprises. This time you take choice from 2 Ultras, a la Street Fighter Third Strike, which obviously many Third Strike players will now appreciate. Super Street Fighter IV has added the following from the Third Strike roster. We have Ibuki with some quality speed, mix-ups, and close quarter tricks makes her return pretty on point. And if you guys out there didn't know, she wants to meet all the hot guys. So she's a need to breed, so her story is a bit flingy, but a contender nonetheless as a character. Next is Makoto. Same slow defense setup gameplay that those type of players would love. Personally, that I'm not really big fan of, but that's just me. Now, not sure if she's looking for a boyfriend, but one thing is for certain, she's got some man feet. Next up, Dudley. Let's fight, act, play, and beat down heads like gentlemen. Now, Dudley's signature combos are pretty much in place with a definite tweak up in regards to moving him, up the player tier with some kick-ass ultras, surprise sick counters, and, that actually worked this time around. I mean, because I remember the counters weren't that great from Third Strike, but this time around, it's a total godsend. Next, we'll continue forward with the Street Fighter Alpha lineup, guys. Well, we have Guy. Well, I was a big Guy player back in the Alpha 3 days, and really grew to master and love his technique, but honestly, in this game, it just doesn't work for me. His moves felt a bit rigid, though fast and really kind of on the weak side. Not to mention that many of his signature chains aren't really there, and if they are there, they are just way too hard to make it worthwhile playing on point with him. So, I mean, if you guys are a Guy fan, definitely be prepared to step up your game because he's a harder character to use this time around. Then we got the All-American Cody, another Alpha classic. Cody continues his close offensive techniques wondrously and has enough defense to make his shackles look useless. A welcome addition to this game and a potential shake-up character I would totally recommend, and Cody's pretty badass in this game. And let's of course not forget Adon. He's originally a student of Sagat and a power-tripping freak in this game. Adon sees Sagat as a modern-day softy and wants to take him down to become King of Muay Thai. And given his moveset and smoothness, it might be a close match. So let's turn the clock back even more. We have the following 2 classic characters from the original Super Street Fighter 2 days, which would be obviously T-Hawk and DJ. Now, T-Hawk, I always found his fighting style interesting but not great. Though his size and power moves make him an admirable opponent to playing guys against like Zangief, I mean, these 2 guys are huge. If you look at them on the screen, they take up like immense amount of background. It's like insane. And of course, we have the ever-smiling DJ. And honestly, sometimes I feel like he's still smiling even though he loses. It's kind of weird. He's happy to be around. Though his speed is still represented, he does have a signature tight gameplay in place. Who are the new, never-before-seen characters to this new edition of Street Fighter? Well, let's take the streets with Juri. Supposedly a servant to Seth, but with no intention whatsoever of serving anyone except herself. And the only thing that she's serving up is a hot plate of kick your ass. Before I even talk about it, watch this few second ass kickings. Yes, this is Juri. A good heaping plate of aggressive new supers, anywhere mid-air attacks, and enough links to make any new player jump for joy. So I think Capcom is totally giving a nod out to King of Fighters games here with her, because her moves remind me of King from like KOF. but with so much more. And of course, the big, slimy-looking Hakan with his Hellboy hairdo. I mean, what is this guy all about anyway? I feel like it was more of a joke than even Dan is at this point. Nonetheless, they gave him some 0 instant supers, some specials that come out of nowhere, and enough damage to end the match in less than 30 seconds. A very surprising character with a potentially very surprising outcome. Now, there you have it. I mean, pretty much that is Super Street Fighter 4 in a nutshell. Well, maybe in about 5 minutes plus. But I bet you want to know one thing. Should I buy it? It's painstaking for me to say this, but yes. Capcom has earned my $40, which is pretty cool since it's not a full price title and includes so much more depth than the first game. You get all these new characters, all these new movesets, and some really cool new stages that are now more destructible than ever, and of course, the beautiful super drawn detail of this new school classic. Now, I'm going to give this game, and I am just not because I'm a Street Fighter fan, because I'm actually a fan of what has been done here. I'm going to get this game a 95 out of 100. Like I said, not because I just like fighting games, but because I like good fighting games at a good value. Alright gamers, well, hope you guys enjoyed our Super Street Fighter 4 madness. Don't forget to check out DOSreviews.com for the latest and greatest in fighting games, tech, aficionados, and just old school fun. And don't forget to check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/DOSreviews. And of course, if you guys haven't gotten your copy of this game, don't forget to check out DOScheap.com where you can get your copy of Super Street Fighter 4 super cheap. Alright gamers, I'm Old School Fool, and thanks so much for watching. Talk to you guys next time.